Okay, so first you are going to put the shredded buko in a pan, and then add the what's this? The milk, evap milk, and the condensed milk. Okay, condensed milk, and then the sugar and the coconut water or the buko juice.
Yes.
Okay, the last ingredient that we're going to add here is the cornstarch, but before that you mix this first. Then the last is the cornstarch.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so after mixing this all, we are going to put the pan in a medium fire and cook it until thick. So we will be cooking this filling until it thickens, but you have to constantly stirring the mixture until thick. Then stop and let it cool. Cook the filling until it thickens. So you have to constantly stir the mixture. Then when it thickens, turn off and let it cool. Okay, so it's already thick. I'm going to turn this off and then we will let it cool. So while this is getting cool, or while we'll just set this aside and we will start working with our crust. This is our flour. We're going to add the salt and then mix it. After mixing the flour and the salt, we are going to add now the butter, but we will be using a pastry cutter and to mix the flour and the butter. So using a pastry cutter, we're going to mix these two. We'll be doing this until the flour is crumbly. Okay, so there the butter is going on top. So we will just do this. If you don't have a pastry cutter, you may use 2 knives, but it would of course be harder. Unlike if you have this pastry cutter, it's easier. Okay, then we are going to add the cold water. Okay. Okay, so this time you can use now your hands to mix the dough and then form a ball. Wait. Okay, so make sure that your hands are clean. Okay, and then we're going to form a ball, but we're going to divide this. After forming a ball, we will divide this into 2. That's for the upper crust and the lower crust, the bottom part. So we will be dividing the dough into 2. So make 2 balls. So this is the first one and this is the second one. Okay, so there. Next, we'll put the first dough on top of a cling wrap, and then we are going to cover it with another cling wrap. Okay, so we'll cover it with another cling wrap. Then we are going to flatten it using a rolling pin. So, we will flatten the dough. The size of the dough should fit the pie pan that you are going to use, or the pastry pan. Okay, so this is the pan that I'm going to use is circular, of course. So I will make sure that this dough or the dough will fit in. So here, the first dough that I have flattened, I already placed it in the pastry pan. Now we're going to put the filling. Okay. So this is the first dough that I have flattened. I already placed it in the pie pan. So we will do the same thing with the second dough. We will flatten it again. So that would be for the covering of the pie. Before we put the filling, we will use a fork to poke the bottom crust. This is to avoid ballooning or to release steam while baking. So now we are going to cover the pie with our top crust. Okay, that's it. And then you're just going to fix the sides. So the second dough, I already placed it here on top. Then once again, you're going to poke the top part to release the steam later during the baking period. If the dough has, if your dough is, stop. So on the side parts, you have to seal the side parts, but my dough is not enough. Tama ba? Ito pa, have to poke again para during the baking ma-release ang steam, and then sa sides niya pwede mo siyang i-seal, or i-seal mo yung sa sides niya, and then pag nag-exceed yung dough dito sa sides ng pie pan, you can use the fork, i-press lang siya using the fork, or you can also use your thumb. Pero yung dough ko kasi medyo hindi siya, just exactly lang siya, so hindi ko siya ma-design masyado on, yung ano lang, yung tawag nito, yung fork lang dito sa sides niya. Naku, ayusin yun. Ayun. Okay, this is my first time to make buko pie. Okay, so this is ready for baking. Dapat yung oven naka-preheat na siya for 180 degrees Celsius. At least mga 15 to 20 minutes. Then bake this for 20 to 35 minutes. Okay then, so that your pie will be shiny, we are going to apply egg wash. This is a mixture of 1 tablespoon of milk and 1 egg. So we will just brush with the egg wash. So here's our buko pie done. Let it cool for at least an hour before slicing to let the filling set. Okay, I'll show you later the inside part.